I'm Bradley Sowash. Hello, and it's a beautiful day here in Ohio, and I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of time with you. Many of you already know me from the frequent conferences such as the MTNA National and the many state conferences that I visit. And I know that we have some friends here. I wish I could see you and shake your hand and give you a hug. You know that I am a specialist in improvisation, and that embeds everything I do in my life, from playing the piano to teaching other people to play creatively, and that I often play jazz, but I have a broader perspective on improvisation that is really just an approach to making music and understanding music better. So today I thought it might be highly relevant for everybody if I talked about the way that I teach classical war horses, I'll call them, or some of the popular repertory from the canon of standard pieces, but how I help my students who come to me, particularly because they're interested in balancing their reading skills with improvisation or composition skills. And I'm going to show you how I kind of try to join those two worlds together. If you've ever heard me speak before, I often talk about a balanced curriculum. So on the one hand, if you imagine a teeter-totter, a lot of times for the last several years we've had a lot of emphasis on the ear side. If this is an ear and this is an eye, I may as well just draw that. And sometimes it neglects some other important musicality. So I'm going to just make a quick picture here, just to show you my philosophy so you see where I'm coming from. If we have an ear and an eye in my terrible picture here on a teeter-totter, a lot of times we put so much emphasis on reading because it's so technical and so complicated and difficult to teach that we neglect my not very great icon of the ear. And so my teaching philosophy, and many of you know this and will be shaking your heads with understanding, is this: that those are equal. Sometimes when you teach improvisation, there's a sort of an unspoken sense that there's two worlds and that you have to choose between one or the other, and that maybe Bradley's one of those improvised guys who doesn't read music or something like that. Not at all. My philosophy is that the eye and the ear, the reading eye and the listening ear, playing by ear, improvising, that whole world that we can just generally call ear, are balanced, so that every lesson has some reading and some improvisation and creativity. But we don't have to think of those as separate activities. We can think of them as things that go back and forth all throughout the lesson. So just like you might regard a scale as a pure exercise for the fingers, like a finger gymnastics, we can more look for connections between the scales that we see in our music and things like that. So I'm going to show you a couple pieces here in the next bit that I think you probably work with. And there is a handout. If you are able to access that from your email, that might be useful for you to have in your hands as you have paper or looking at it on an iPad or whatever. But I'll also try to show that on the screen so that you can see where I'm at. I know some of you will drop in halfway through and things like that. So I'm going to start with the Pachelbel's famous canon in D. And right now I'm going to just switch that screen to that handout. So let me do that now. All right, so your handout should look like that. It says Jamming the Classics, Bradley Sowash, my little logo there. I'm going to talk about Pachelbel's chord tones. And so for the purpose of this exercise, I made a sort of a simple, in a way this is your free gift for the day. I made a simple version of the real canon in D, because of course the real canon in D is not even written for keyboard to my knowledge, so all of these are arrangements. But by the way, everything I talk about today is relevant to all music teachers, though I'm a keyboard player, and because of the grand staff and the utility of showing bass clef and treble clef together, I'm going to be showing piano music. But there's really chords are connecting chords to repertory is you know, the only difference is, for me, in my mind, is that piano players are able to play blocked chords, and monophonic instruments play arpeggios. Other than that, the knowledge is very handy.